Welcome back to the second episode of The Road with my good friend Brent Philpott. My name's Larry, and last month we released our first episode, and we talked a little bit about a couple of videos that was going to be coming out on YouTube, and now those videos have in fact been released. The Road and More Each Day, you can now find them on YouTube. Please get on there and like and share them. Thumbs up is what we're looking for. And the more likes and shares he gets, of course, the better off he is. And you can find all of the songs audio now. You can find More Each Day, The Road, Wedding Bells, Night of Ecstasy, and what am I forgetting?
And the cover.
And the cover, which is Soul Man by Sam and Dave. All of those are already out on EP right now on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, and Facebook. And I don't want to do all the talking here. I'll let you talk, so I'm sorry.
And SoundCloud. We're putting them up one by one on SoundCloud as well.
Okay.
Let's see. I think it's called iCore. That makes it internationally.
Good way to travel the world quick, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
To be all over the world, right? You gotta love the internet.
Exactly.
And it was pointed out to me that I needed to maybe talk a little bit about the description of the first video that was released, The Road, and where I came up with the video for it. And as I talked about in our first episode, Brent and I connected on that right off the bat. That's the very first song of his that I heard. And the minute I heard it, it was an instant connection with me. And I didn't really talk about why, so I'm going to tell you why now. About 3 or 4 years ago, I went through a really bad relationship, and I literally lost everything that I had. I ended up having to send my kids that was living with me at the time, I had to send them to go live with their mom in Texas because I had nowhere to go. So I actually went homeless for about 6 weeks because of a relationship. And I lived on the streets of Little Rock for about 6 weeks. And so when I heard this song, all those memories came back, and it really touched home with me. So when I was putting the video together, the opening scene, if you watch it, will be of a thunderstorm. And I put that in there because in my mind, you go through storms in life. But at the same time, when you're in the storm, if you look, you can see the beauty of the raindrops and the lightning, and so there's always beauty if you just know where to look for it. So throughout the video, there's clips of really nice, clean, spotless video, and then there's clips of kind of not so good video. It looks like something out of a third world country. It's kind of just thrown together. It's grayed out. I did that for a reason. It depicts the ups and downs that you go through when you're going through life like this. You have good days, you have bad days, you have happy thoughts, you have not so happy thoughts. Sometimes it's gloomy, and then driving the fast in the traffic. You got all these fast thoughts running through your mind. How are you going to get yourself out of this situation? And then there was a couple of scenes where looking down or looking up from the ground, and at least for me, when I was homeless, I always felt like I was in certain ways I was below everybody else. And you're there, but you're not really getting noticed. Nobody really cares. So when you're looking at the video and you see the shots where you're kind of down on the street looking up at everybody going by, you just kind of feel like you're there, but you're not really being noticed. And so that's where the direction of the video came from, and I think it blended in pretty well with what you had in mind when you wrote the song too, correct?
Yeah, whenever I wrote the song, it was one of those things where when I write visually. Mm-hmm. I know a visually impaired person writing visually sounds funny, but when I wrote the first line of the song of The Road, it was like just a drop of water on an endless summer day. It was like a man lost in a desert. And how is he going to get out of this desert?
Right. So it's basically the same, along the same lines.
And then whenever I saw the preview of your vision of the video, I was like, oh my gosh, he got it.
Very much so.
he got what I was saying in that. So it 1 and 1 does equal 2.
And the funny thing is, both of those videos, The Road and More Each Day, both got released on YouTube at the same day, within an hour of each other. And The Road has by far taken the lead on likes and shares and comments. And but we want both of them to do good.
Yes.
The Road, I think, has really hit home with a lot of people. There's been a lot of responses from it. And real quick, while we're on responses, let me throw this in there before I forget. Starting the next episode, which will hopefully be within the next month, we're going to have a question and answer session. I'll actually have a laptop set up, and if you're watching this video now, the one we're doing now, or the first one, any questions, comments that you have for these 2 episodes, we'll answer on the 3rd episode, and it'll just carry over, so on and so forth. So be sure and post some questions, make some comments. If you have some ideas, we want to hear them. And something we were talking about also is maybe having a little contest once every couple of months, where whoever gives the most likes and shares may have some kind of a little gift for you. So that's something we're kind of actually talking about right now doing. So we'll discuss more of that a little bit later on. But the main thing right now is to get on there, give this man some credit. He does a fantastic job. He needs a band.
Yes.
He's got some more songs he's wanting to put on the actual album, the Eye Opener. But it's kind of hard to do the songs when you don't have a band to play with.
Yeah.
So I'll let you talk about that a little bit.
Well, actually, the studio that I work with does great work, and I wouldn't be where I am today without the studio that I work with, which is Infrared Studios. They actually, I walked into their studios. I have a book of songs like that thick.
Wow.
No music, but a book of songs that thick. And I walked in there, and Eric, he's the producer, and he's like, well, what do you want to start with? And I opened it up, and this was one of the, The Road was one of my first songs, and he's like, what's the tune? I gave him the tune. He came up with the melody. The studio musicians do wonderful work at Infrared. Wonderful people that work there. Mm-hmm. I love them. But I do need a band.
Okay.
Because I want to be able to go back in there and say, this is what we have worked on, and just go in there and do it.
Okay.
Anyway, all that aside, what was your question?
Okay. No, I was just talking about the album, the EP.
Okay.
So we've got 5 songs on there already, including the cover song, which is Soul Man by Sam and Dave. Mm-hmm. So there's 5 songs already on there. The whole album will have a total of 10 songs. The last 5 songs, we'll have to wait until I guess you get a band to be able to put those together.
Yes.
But hopefully that will be happening very soon. But in the meantime, there's going to be all 5 of the ones on the EP you can actually listen to right now. They're on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Facebook, and TuneCore, which is the international way of watching. So anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Brett is traveling the world right now on the internet. So, all right. So So that's the EP, the 5 songs. And now I want to talk about something that we didn't mention in the last interview, and that's where you got the name for the eye opener. And real quick, I want to mention also we do have some dogs where we're at. You may hear them occasionally barking in the background. I have no control over that. So if you hear little dog noises, that's beyond our control. So
or chomping.
Or chomping on food. I'll try to filter that out as best as we can. So we'll just have to see. But if you're hearing some crunching noises, that's what that is. Dogs in the background. So they're dog lovers, and they do have dogs at home. So hey, it's part of life, right? That's nothing wrong with that. So anyways, yeah, the eye opener. I think I know where you may have come from with that, but I want to hear your side of it, where you came up with that name.
I'm always joking about my sight. Okay, whether it be about my accident or whatever. I find that you have eye-opening experiences. And in my songs, each character, because that's what each one of my songs has in it, is a character. They have eye-opening experiences, whether it be a night of ecstasy or wedding bells, which is not what you think it is about.
I got fooled with that one.
More each day, which is what you think it's about.
Right.
You know, the road. You know, I mean, it's just eye-opening experience.
When I posted the first interview on YouTube, I may have, well, actually I did. I named it wrong. I named it Open Road instead of The Road. So when you're looking for it, I'm going to try to go back in and correct that today, but it may be under Open Road. But you're looking.
Open the Road.
Okay, you need to look for The Road with Brent Philpott. And you can pull it up under Brent Philpott or The Road or whatever will get you to where we're at now. So that was an error on my part.
And that is BrentPhilpot.
So that, and as I said, I will link his videos on my website as well. So you'll find my website under his and his website under mine. And between the two, there's a lot of good opportunity to get some likes and shares. We want some thumbs up, not thumbs down, please. And like we said, we may start doing some giveaways. The more likes and shares we get, if you're the winner, no telling what you might end up with. So keep that in mind. So yes, and also keep in mind, next interview we'll have the laptop set up. I'll be answering, or we will be answering questions, comments, anything you have for the previous episode or anything else. Just feel free to message us, and we'll try to get back with you as quickly as we can. As always, thank you for being with us, and we hope you have a great, safe day out there wherever you're at.
See you next time.
Just a drop of water on an endless summer day. Clouds are rolling and I've got to go my way. What do I do now? So what do you think? Give me some advice, bartender, and hand me that drink.